There are a bunch of pieces I'd like to read in this Pharaoh Memes book. That's my Pharaoh Memes. There are a bunch of poems I'd like to read in this Pharaoh Memes book. This is my kindergarten class photo thing. Because I got tired of showing my own mug on the front cover. So. But it also, this first poem, one of the poems in here also appears in this cc&d magazine collection book, which was just released. That is called A Revolution of Modern Life. Our work on the cover is from a man in France.
I can't remember his name.
I don't want to botch up the pronunciation of his name, so look online. It would be the best way to do it. I know. Zero look means it's a long and I'm like, I don't want to screw it up. So, in fact, his name is on here, and I'm sure I would disservice, but that's why I've got it online everywhere with links on Facebook. But this poem is in both, so I'm going to read this poem first, because it is in both of these, and it is called For Far Too Many Years. After news reports of fire along the coast of California and through national forests filled half a newscast, a reporter then said on live TV, "We will now have to learn how to live with fire." Live with fire, he says, after I escaped the gates of hell and am now forced into purgatory forever. I spend every waking moment licked by flames. I know what it's like to be parched because all this time I've been scorched. And I wonder why everyone else hasn't been living with hellfire all this time already. It's been around you since the beginning of time, for far too many years, for it to not find you. All this time, it's been breathing down your back, teasing you, whispering to you, calling to you.
Yeah, the matching picture. Yeah, that's totally what you get.
For far too many years. I don't know where the quote-unquote inspiration for that one came, but as I said, the fun thing about this one, and when it happens to have a short image with it, I will share it with you. But there are longer ones as well as shorter ones than this one. This one's called Sinotro. It's not ricotta. Doctors found a large ovarian cyst in a friend of mine, still in her early 20s. She was scheduled in for surgery to remove it. So the weekend before, I thought she needed to get away. She needed to pick me up, so we flew to DC and stayed with my friend. Now, my friend worked on the Hill, and he didn't know my girlfriend, so he just gave us the keys so that we'd be on our own. So we saw the Smithsonian, we toured the town, took buses from one place to the next. Now, when the city girl got on a DC bus and sat down, I thought I'd have a moment of peace. Until a disheveled, older African-American man walked right over to us to talk. And the first thing going through my head was that this guy was homeless, but I was trapped with him in this tiny little bus. How do I avoid asking for money? But there was no escaping him, and he just looked right into our eyes and said, "Can you help me?" And I didn't want to answer because I was out of my element. But he pulled out a newspaper, crinkled in his grasp, and he said, "I'm doing a crossword here, and there's a seven-letter word for cheese. There's an O in it and a T, but they're in the wrong spot. A kind of cheese. It's not ricotta. Can you think of any other kind of cheese?" And now I don't do crossword puzzles, and I couldn't even think. And I think my friend was a little too concerned for her own safety. And so we both just said no, and he said thanks, and he turned to ask someone else on the bus, and he kept repeating it. A kind of cheese. 7 letters. It's not ricotta. And so we just turned back and started staring out the large glass panels in this bus, trying to soak everything in we could, though we could still hear the din of people talking and the disheveled man asking strangers about this crossword clue. I think I looked over to see him accosting another woman with his forwardness until he stopped asking. But when he stopped asking, she looked down and then merely said, "Cottage?" And this is when the disheveled man turned into a bombastic, boisterous behemoth, thrilled with this one word that he needed. Cottage! Cottage! It's cottage! Thank you! And he just was, and then he just hopped off of the bus and slowed down for that stop, and he just kept repeating the words as he got off the bus. Cottage! And a 7-letter word for Jesus, cottage! And I even watched him walk down the street of our bus, and I walked away, and I could see him in the new animation in this old man's step. It was the funniest story. Seeing, you just see somebody and you're instantly like, what? I don't know. And it was just this man wanting to know. It's not ricotta, just belting out about cheese.
I just wanted to say that's kind of just in your
This one, and it has an image for it. It is called Brittle. And you can see it's got a little statue. Short ones. This is what I Twitter like poems. Poor, trapped snail, born into a shell that keeps them contained, trapped within these curved, yet brittle, hard walls. These walls seem so suffocating. They make life seem so short.
Once you take in your middle school, it's like in everything, science, essentially.
Haha, gotcha with that. This is a funny one, and I actually talked to a girlfriend about this who knew the place. This is a poem called Meningitis, 6 feet under.
Physics major?
The bar was called O'Malley's. It wasn't really my kind of a hangout. The music was a little too 80s metal for this industrial proto-goth girl's taste. My best friend from high school, my once roommate, sharing a home is where we learned that we're nothing alike. She loved this place and told me to join her. And the one thing I can remember about this dive bar that was half flight below the street level, 6 feet under. It was the one thing that made it feel like home was that all the regulars at midnight, the music changed, and like clockwork, they all played American Pie. And now it's just a song. It's a song before I was born. What everyone stopped whatever they were doing to dedicate the next 6 minutes of their life to singing this song, completely drunk with everybody else. No, as I said, I didn't know this song. It was before my time. But when in Rome, I guessed the words, mouthed the verses, and the more you do it, the more you would start to belt out the chorus like you're a regular. Bye, bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. But once I found this new home with new friends, we even altered some of the words for the rest of the chorus. Then good old boys are drinking whiskey and beer instead of rye. This'll be the day that I die at O'Malley's. And we would sing this, and we were all friends, but we were all drunk. So this was just a truly unique term for endearment as we were saying these things to each other. And singing these inane songs was all well and good for this proto-goth, but working for the local newspaper and seeing emblazoned in the headlines the story that someone had contracted meningitis at a local bar that was 6 feet underground. Well, everyone in town knew exactly what local watering hole that was actually spreading this infection, and they knew what they were talking about, with water floors that would just be covered in spilled beer. Later, they changed their name to 6 feet under, spelling it out for those who didn't want to think about it. But when I think of this watering hole, I don't think about the beer-soaked floor spreading diseases. I just think of a bar, not quite my style, but singing a song that brought everyone together. That was the funniest story. That was the funniest story. Are you like everyone in this town? Are you a dog person?
No.
We have cats.
I don't even want to date somebody with a dog.
Well, this was a thing about a dog, and we own cats, so if that consoles you. And this is called Bamboo. He gave her the name of the bamboo near my home. This bamboo that I love, that grew so high, so strong. And I didn't want to care for this strange creature, even though he named her after something I love. But more than that, he gave her a name, and this made her more real than those bamboo trees. It made me look for her, wanting to give her food, water, though I had to learn that before she would accept anything from me, she would have to first come to me, feel my hands along her, giving her love before she'd ever think of food. And then he thought, maybe we should take her in, give her a home. And I thought, I know I love all, but I don't know if I can do this. You know how it is. You think of logistics. Can you really bring in another life in its final years just to be heartbroken again? And so we'd bring out food day after day, give her extra water in this desert heat. And he said, next week I'll do it. I'll bring her in so we can check on her health and make sure that she's okay before we keep her forever. Until this morning, we brought out food, and there was no sign of her. Not for minutes, not for hours. She might have been hiding in that bamboo. So we checked again, and after a day went by, we then still saw no sign of her. So all we could do after that was toast to the bamboo that grew so proud, so strong near our home, and contemplate the relationship that might have been.
Was that back in Chicago?
No, that was here. Somebody has a bamboo forest right outside her home, and apparently somebody got a group to be able to get her, and so she has help, and she has another. We researched it, and she's okay, and she has another home. But I just found out that day. Where is she?
She was picked up by Austin Animal Control and taken to Austin Pets Alive, and she was adopted.
Which is good.